The 1st Mississippi Infantry Company chief was ordered to Ross Landing, Chicot County, Arkansas, to forage. On February the 14th, 1864, they were surprised by an unsanctioned 9th Missouri Cavalry band of 21 Confederate soldiers. The Africans were equipped with one-shot muzzleloaders. They stood ready in line when the Confederates turned the corner of the gin house. They fired one round. There was no time to reload. The Africans tried to retreat, but the mounted guerillas continued shooting with their Colt, Navy, and dragoon revolvers, and they overwhelmed them. The guerrilla unit, not satisfied with shooting the Africans in the back, dismounted, grabbed the Africans' rifles with bayonets, and pinned each African soldier to the ground. When the rest of Company G arrived, they buried 13 African soldiers and brought back to Vicksburg 7 wounded soldiers, including the 2 white officers. After the Vicksburg National Cemetery was established in 1866, the 13 original soldiers buried in Arkansas were moved to the Vicksburg National Cemetery and segregated them section as unknowns. The 3 who died of their wounds in the hospital were also buried as unknowns.
These individuals were buried. Their identities were equally buried, but they have come back. And when we tell these stories, we're doing something more than just honoring their deaths. Because if we all take a moment to think about our loved ones, about ourselves, when we define who we are, we're not fully defining ourselves by our moments of death, but it's how we lived. And so today, we're not only honoring that these men made the ultimate sacrifice in the fight for freedom, we're also celebrating these men's lives and what they did while they were alive.
As I pour out the water of libation in remembrance of all the United States colored troops, after each name, I want you to say Ashe, a West African Yoruba word that means so be it. Ashe. Ashe. Private Henry Berry. Private Calvin Cathrone. Private T. Howard Dixon. Corporal Fleming Epps. Private Raffian Epps. Private Peter Everman. Private Charles Farrar. Private Henry Ford. Private John Jennifer. Private Anthony Gibbons. Private Richard James. Sergeant Tony McGee. Sergeant Noah Howell. Private Thomas Ransom. First Sergeant James Spencer. Private Isaac Stanton. Private Isom Taylor. Corporal Nelson Walker. Private James H. Bolden.
So now, 160 years later, we can acknowledge the victims of Ross's Landing. And as President Lincoln remarks of the Gettysburg dead, we too can recognize the men who lay the hallowed grounds of the Vicksburg National Cemetery and never forget what they did for freedom.